then you ask me, you know, whether I approve of violence. I mean, that just doesn't make any sense at all. Whether I approve of guns. I grew up in Birmingham, Alabama. Some very, very good friends of mine were killed by bombs that were planted by racists. I remember from the time I was very small, I remember the sounds of bombs exploding across the street, our house shaking. I remember my father having to have guns at his disposal at all times because of the fact that at any moment we might expect to be attacked. The man who was at that time in complete control of the city government, his name was Bull Connor, would often get on the radio and make statements like, niggers have moved into a white neighborhood, we better expect some bloodshed tonight. And sure enough, there would be bloodshed. I mean, that's why when someone asks me about violence, I just find it incredible. What it means is that the person who's asking that question has absolutely no idea what black people have gone through, what black people have experienced in this country since the time the first black person was kidnapped from the shores of Africa.
2020, y'all. 2020. And what has changed? I am exhausted. And if you are a black person in America, I know you are too. And while Ashley and I, we have a lot of content that, we're ready to put out, we're being consistent so that we don't upset the YouTube algorithms, I had to just pause on my other content and come on here and use this platform to share my voice and say something. We're currently not on our Instagrams. I don't even have my personal Instagram anymore, just our Soul Trip Instagram page. And YouTube, this is just the perfect place to just state truly how I feel, because now is the time to speak up. We can no longer stay silenced in the face of injustice. We must speak up. And it's not just the responsibility of black people to speak up. And quite frankly, I don't care if this video gets no views. I don't care if it gets flagged. I don't care if it gets reported, whatever. I am going to voice my opinion, and I'm going to say whoever does not agree to any white person who doesn't agree, fuck you. With that being said, we are exhausted. I am exhausted. And no more of the sweet talk. No more of the passive language and whatever language that makes you feel comfortable in your privilege. No more of that. It is time now to voice how we feel and by any means necessary make change. So I am with every person that feels that they need to riot, every person that feels that they need to mess up some stuff, tear up some stuff. I'm with you. I support you. You have my full support because I get it. You subjugate any race to what the black race has experienced for centuries in this nation, and the results would be the same. We tear up stuff because of the oppression that we've experienced for so long. It's been passed down generation through generation. And we do what we've been taught. Like my favorite activist, Angela Davis, just said, you want to talk to us about violence? You really want to talk to us about violence? You want to bring up looting? I just have no words. I honestly have no words. It's so exhausting. It's so just... All I can say is that I'm preparing and equipping myself mentally, physically, and spiritually to be ready to make change by any means necessary. The revolution will be televised, and I will be a part of it. I am ready for war. No revolution has taken place without a little bloodshed. And if that's what it takes, I don't care. I'm ready for it by any means necessary. And like I said, if you don't agree with what I'm saying in this, I don't care. You can unsubscribe right now. You can do whatever you need to do. Fuck you. But we are tired. And I just want to get on here and just say, if you are not okay, Black person, it is okay. It's okay to not be okay. We are all not okay. And it's okay if it's hard right now to deal with the heaviness of all of this that's taking place and that continues to take place, that has taken place for so long, on top of having to deal with COVID and a current pandemic, and on top of having to just do regular daily stuff that everyone has to do because we're living in this world. You know, we're still expected to show up to work and smile and talk to our co-workers, Becky and everybody, and, you know, pretend like we're okay when we're not. It's okay to not be okay. And don't be afraid to use your voice. Don't be afraid to speak out. Don't be afraid to unapologetically say how you feel. No matter how harsh it may sound, don't be afraid to speak up. Now is not the time to be silent whatsoever. So I'm going to continue doing my part, and I just had to share that clip of Angela Davis because, of course, it's so relevant to today. And I mean, until we do our part and just completely demolishing white supremacy and reconstructing this entire country and this entire world, because white supremacy is dominant across the entire world. Until we do our part in getting rid of that, and yes, it's possible, and yes, I will make sure that I won't leave this earth until I do a part in making that change to demolish white supremacy. Until we get rid of white supremacy, what Angela Davis said would always remain relevant. And I'm about to share this clip of my favorite, Malcolm X, and this clip will always remain relevant too.
In order for you and me to devise some kind of method or strategy to offset some of the events or repetition of the events that have taken place here in Los Angeles recently, we have to go to the root. We have to go to the cause. Dealing with the condition itself is not enough. And it is because of our effort toward getting straight to the root that people oftentimes think we're dealing in hate. We are oppressed. We are exploited. We are downtrodden. We are denied not only civil rights, but even human rights. So the only way we're going to get some of this oppression and exploitation away from us or aside from us is come together against the common enemy. Who taught you to hate the texture of your hair? Who taught you to hate the color of your skin to such extent that you bleach to get like the white man? Who taught you to hate the shape of your nose and the shape of your lips? Who taught you to hate yourself from the top of your head to the soles of your feet? Who taught you to hate your own kind? Who taught you to hate the race that you belong to? So much so that you don't want to be around each other. No, before you come asking Mr. Muhammad, does he teach hate, you should ask yourself, who taught you to hate being what God gave you? And I, for one, as a Muslim, believe that the white man is intelligent enough. If he were made to realize how black people really feel and how fed up we are without that old compromise and sweet talk. Stop sweet talking him. Tell him how you feel. Tell him what kind of hell you've been catching, and let him know that if he's not ready to clean his house up, if he's not ready to clean his house up, he shouldn't have a house. It should catch on fire and burn down.
I'm sending light and love as always to every black person on this planet. I love you. You are appreciated. And I just pray that in the midst of all of this, in the midst of having anxiety and a fear around wondering if your life or your loved one's life will be taken senselessly, I ask that you are just covered with peace of mind, regardless of that fear and anxiety that just permeates all of us. I'm praying for you. And I'm asking that God just cover you and your family and loved ones right now. God bless every Black soul on this planet.